Hi guys, today is the 2nd of August 2019 at 7 minutes past 12 in the afternoon over here in the UK, and Donald Trump has decided that he's going to slap another $300 billion worth of tariffs on China. This threat is sending the markets into a tailspin, something we've been watching out for in association with the iPet Go-To video and the stock market plunge in the boy's eyes. Is the stock market plunging? And obviously this is having quite a big effect. The market in the USA hasn't opened yet, so we have yet to see what kind of response in terms of market numbers will happen or will be going on. But obviously this is quite big, and this is obviously before China has even responded. So the trade war continues, things are going to get worse financially, and the global markets are starting to plunge, just as we're kind of entering into August, so that may be important. China is no longer issuing individual travel permits to Taiwan, and I think this is important because I think Taiwan has a connection with the girl and the skeleton in the iPet Go-To video scene. I think there is a connection there, and it strikes me as concerning if China is no longer allowing its citizens, the ones it has on its mainland, to travel to Taiwan. This is something that would precede a military conflict, stopping your citizens from traveling over to the country. Obviously, something else I'm looking out for is any news of Chinese airlines being restricted from flying over Taiwanese airspace. That would be significant. Right now, there's military drills being conducted in the Taiwan Strait, both from China and from Taiwan. So there's clearly tensions increasing on the Korean Peninsula. Clearly tensions increasing on the Chinese mainland. Meanwhile, South Korea and Japan are falling out over stock and trade, or rather trade, not stock. So yeah, they are pretty much at each other's throats, while North Korea, just over the border from South Korea, is firing off missiles again. So a lot going on. And then Russia kicks off large-scale military drills in the Baltic Sea. This is going to take place between August the 1st, yesterday, and August the 9th. Obviously, watch date of August the 3rd is in there. There's several watch dates throughout August. I've got the entire month pretty much, but August 3rd, August 11th, August 13th, August 21st to the 23rd. I can even remember a video I made a while ago, which was August 17th, but that one hasn't come up for a while. And then there's August 27th, the 30th and 31st. So like I said, pretty much the whole month of August, but those are some specific dates. Moscow from August the 1st has about 70 combat ships and support vessels and 58 aircraft of the Russian Navy and the Aerospace Air Force are taking part in the Ocean Shield 2019 drills in the Baltic Sea. Russia's defense ministry reported on yesterday. The Ocean Shield drill will run on August 1st to 9th. Sorry about that. Overall, the drills involve 49 warships and combat craft, 20 support vessels, 58 aircraft of the Navy and Aerospace Force, and 10,634 personnel of the Russian Armed Forces. The naval grouping mostly comprises warships and vessels that took part in Russia's main naval parade in St. Petersburg and Kronstadt, I think, on July 28th, the ministry added. So, as I said, we're getting into August and all these things are kicking off. Military drills with Russia, military drills with China, military drills with Taiwan, military drills about to kick off with South Korea and the United States. So a lot of military drills, and obviously Iran continues its military drills. Israel also continues its military drills, and you don't drill for no reason. So obviously there is cause for drills, cause to stay prepared, and it may be that all of a sudden all these militaries are gonna jump into action. So Taiwan now, as I said, is conducting their own military drills in response to Beijing's armed F-16 fighter jets bought from the United States simulate attack followed by medium and long-range missile launches in eastern waters. The People's Liberation Army launched 2 large-scale drills close to Taiwan Strait on Sunday. That was last week. Taiwan responded to Beijing's military drill, targeting the self-ruled island by deploying its most advanced fighter jets and firing 117 medium and long-range missiles on Monday and Tuesday, 7/11. Defense Ministry Deputy Chief of Staff Li Xiaoming said the missiles were fired from the Zhupeng military base to waters off eastern Taiwan with a range of 250 kilometers in an exercise covering 5 types of training for the island's forces. So as I said, military drills, military drills, military drills. Now obviously the United States has approved sales of more military equipment to the Taiwanese, including the sale of, I think it's 108 or more Abrams tanks, which I think is connected again to the IPEC Go 2 video, not just China with the Hong Kong protests and the possibility of that being related to Tiananmen Square, but also the sale of these Abrams tanks to Taiwan, which China views as a red line. Kind of, I feel like at some point the United States might do something like declare Taiwan independent, which would really be the absolute red line for China. I'm not sure the sale of these Abrams tanks would cause China to go forward with their military, but obviously it's something just added to the pile for them to, you know, say these are the reasons why we're now bringing our military forward. As I said, with South Korea and the United States, they're set to begin their drills this month. The United States does not plan to make changes to a military drill with South Korea, a senior US defense official said on Wednesday, despite a series of North Korean missile launches intended to pressure Seoul and Washington to stop joint exercises, which is why it's possible that the 4th missile launch from North Korea could be a bit more serious. The US and South Korean militaries are planning to stage a joint exercise in August known as Dongmyeong. I'll have to investigate what that name means and if there's any potential anagrams in there, which is believed to be a slimmed down version of an annual drill once known as Yushi Freedom Guardian exercise, which we have reported on before, which included thousands of US troops. North Korea fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles on Wednesday after 2 similar missile tests last week, raising the stakes for US and South Korean diplomats hoping to restart talks on North Korean denuclearization. And obviously I remember a report I brought out, I think it was last year, about the United States military moving 70 kilometers away from the DMZ, and I didn't find any reports of them moving back, so they're still out of range of direct fire from things like tanks and artillery fire, which would devastate the general border, and I'm guessing just shy of 70 kilometers worth of South Korea. And in terms of volcanic activity, another thing was looking out for in association with the IPEC Go 2 video. This happened on July 28th. Mount Etna and Stromboli burst into life as a double eruption, so both erupting at the same time. This is one of the things we've been looking out for, and I think if it's happened once, it could happen again, not just with these 2 volcanoes, but also with Kilauea and Mount Etna, and one of those double eruptions is going to be the one that results in the landslide tsunami. So excuse me, something to look out for. North Korea, not just firing missiles, but is building or has built what is their biggest submarine yet. And obviously, again, in association with the IPEC Go 2 video, we've got a lot of watch on submarine activity, the potential for a torpedo being used to set off a volcano like Kilauea, Mauna Loa, for example. The other possibility of an SLBM being fired out of the Pacific to the west coast, or out of the Atlantic to the east coast, or both. So keeping an eye on those things. The North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un inspected a newly built submarine that the state media reported on July 23rd, 7:23, and was designed and built to be capable of fully implementing the military strategic intention of the Korean Workers' Party under various circumstances. As North Korea tests new weapons on land, it's also building what may be its largest homemade submarine, yet potentially capable of carrying multiple missiles. Now this report speaks as if the submarine is not already built, but the agency which reported on the submarine from North Korea has referenced it as a newly built submarine, so past tense, not present or future. So North Korea's official Korean news agency first released images last week of Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un inspecting a newly built submarine that will perform its duty in the operational waters of the East Sea of Korea. So obviously the East Sea of Korea is obviously the side which leads into the Pacific Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean is where Hawaii is and leads up to the west coast of the United States. So that's why there's potential for events even as soon as tomorrow, August 3rd, happening around Hawaii, the volcanoes, the tsunami, just potential warnings and something to keep an eye out for. If it doesn't happen, that is absolutely great. If it does happen, that is something that will obviously be an alert for us to say that wasn't an accident, that was orchestrated, that was planned, and it will maybe give some people a little bit more confidence in believing in their thoughts of what they believe. Next, Israel is conducting offensives in Iraq. This is significant because they have only recently been conducting military operations in Syria, for example. When you do have a quick look at the map, you can see Israel's just over here. They were attacking Iranian forces in Syria and also in Lebanon. Now they're attacking them in Iraq, and the next stop is Iran. And obviously there was the report, I think it was last year again, where Israel had said that they had sent F-16 or F-35 fighter jets over in Iran and back, and Iran hadn't noticed. So obviously this is like a corridor through the Middle East that's being created to Iran. So obviously, again, something to look out for in the event that Israel decides they're gonna go past Iraq into Iran, potentially attacking what they believe to be a nuclear facility, which it could be, but also could be a civilian location, which results in collateral damage and therefore kind of unites the Muslim community against Israel. It would be hard for countries like Saudi Arabia, which is a Muslim country, to come to the defense of Israel if, for example, there had been collateral damage at a mosque and children and women had been killed. You see how the scenario could unfold. North Korea, as I said, conducted its third weapons test within the last 8 days. Obviously this is leading into August, in connection with the submarine that's just been newly built. It kind of spells trouble that North Korea have rapidly advanced. I remember reading reports last year and 2 years ago that were saying, oh, North Korea can't have any of these weapons for like 10 years, and I was saying they've probably already got them or they're not far away. And now, you know, they have weapons that officials are admitting can hit the US mainland. They've got submarines which can fire off SLBMs. So they've really progressed just in you know, the space of a year, and that is obviously with help, whether that's help from, I'll say deep state, though I don't really use that term. When I say that, I'm referencing officials in governments that are working against their countries in order to achieve a bigger objective, such as a one world government. So it could be actors from the United States themselves that are helping the North Koreans, or it could be the Chinese, could be the Russians, could be the Iranians. But obviously development of this kind so quickly, nuclear weapons, submarines, ballistic missiles, SLBMs, it says that they're not working alone. They are being helped by someone or someones. So again, it's all orchestrated, and North Korea and Iran are going to be instrumental in the wars to come. they're going to allow the bigger actors like China and Russia to get involved. The INF Treaty has officially ended today, just as we're about to go into August the 3rd and the rest of the month into September and the rest of the year. The INF Treaty restricted development of missiles between the ranges of 500 and 5,500 kilometers, which basically is an intercontinental ballistic missile. Now we know that these countries have been working on these things anyway, but it wasn't official and it was illegal to do so. Now there's a freedom to do so, which does make things less secure, but again, it's all orchestrated. So now there's probably going to be an arms race. There's already been an arms race, but it's going to just be allowed now. You know, no one can really voice anything legally, not that anyone was or could. So again, it's just another step along the chain, and we're now in August, and one of the key significant things from the IPEC Go-To video is the fact that the word August is said. So now we're in the month of August, August 3rd tomorrow. Other watch dates throughout August, but the entire month of August for the last 2 years, since 2017 into 2018, have been watch dates. But now we're in the year of the pig, the last zodiac animal. I can really connect to this video in a linear fashion. First we had the year of the dog and the woo connection made by JK in the snow outside the classroom in the IPEC Go-To video, and then there was the pig in the fireworks. Again, the next zodiac animal on the Chinese calendar is the rat. I haven't seen a rat. I've seen a rabbit, I've seen a deer, I've seen a dog. You know, there's a snake in there. There's nearly all the zodiac animals, I think, but I haven't seen a rat. So the year of the pig, significant. We've got all these events unfolding, ones we've just spoken about. We've got the reference to August in the video. Now August could be the month where something major happens, or several major things happen, or it could be the month before several major things happen, as in going into September. As I say, I mentioned all the watch dates I've got in August, then it goes on to September, September the 2nd, September the 3rd, September the 21st, and the 23rd are very significant dates. Also the 27th, excuse me, are very significant dates which I've got in September. But for now, a lot of things unfolding rapidly, and we've only just started this month, so keep an eye out, you guys. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.